So I purchased 5 of the cheapest, or maybe you prefer the word affordable, boxing gloves on Amazon right now in 2021. Now, me personally, I tend to spend between $60 to $120 on my boxing gloves, generally because I usually buy leather. I like gloves that last. I have gloves from 2009. I have gloves that are 10 or 11 years old, and they still look new. If you take care of your gear, you keep it clean. The biggest issue when you buy high-end gloves is really just making sure that you keep the smell out of them by making sure you don't let any bacteria kind of grow on the inside, so you got to keep them clean. When it comes to cheaper gloves, I have owned vinyl gloves and gloves that are $20 or $30, even $40, and they eventually just, they crack or they rip, or the stuffing comes out, or the foam just kind of fades, and they're just not really protective, or just, they don't keep their quality. But when you're first starting, it doesn't really make sense to go out and buy $80 or $100 gloves, especially since you really don't know what's what as far as like if you like it, or what kind of gloves you like, or what the size, or even the brand is a factor. And this is because certain brands and types of gloves fit differently. So when you're first starting out, or again, even if you're experienced and you just don't see the need for a high-end boxing glove, or kickboxing or Muay Thai glove, and you just want to get some gloves to get your training going or continue training and so forth. These are some of the, again, cheapest or affordable options on Amazon. And I'm going to go through them and tell you, like, out of these, which ones I recommend. So this is the unboxing portion, and then I'll go ahead and use the gloves a little bit, and I'll kind of just walk you through what I think of the gloves as we go along in this video. So let's start with the cheapest gloves out of the 5 gloves here, the absolute cheapest you can get. And I don't think you're gonna find gloves this cheap. I don't even have them in my shop. I don't know how I'd be able to make any kind of profit selling them this cheap. But these gloves are $17.95 or $18 on Amazon right now. And I've actually seen some of my students training with these, and so I haven't heard any complaints. But these are Defy, D-E-F-Y. All the links to all the gloves will be in the description below. So these are $18 gloves, 16 ounce. All these are 16 ounce gloves. So you don't get a nice little bag, but what do you expect for $18? Just a plastic bag. So you're gonna need a gym bag to hold these in. Right off the bat, it's a vinyl glove. Seems solid. It says gel shock, so I think it must have gel fitting. You know, for $18, I didn't expect this quality of a build. Not bad. It's soft in all the right places. It is a boxing glove, so all the padding is concentrated up here on the knuckles, not a lot back here. The wrist seems secure. Does have a little more give than you would want in a boxing glove. It's not horrible. But man, for $18, this seems like a pretty solid glove. This does feel a little cushy, and I'm certain this will wear over time. But if you're just trying to get started and you really just want to be like the budget option, these are going to be your go-to, I guess. We're going to train with them and see what's up. So, these are really good for $18 gloves. Okay, so these are the Defy gloves, and for $18, I'm shocked. There's a lot of cushion in here. You know, I don't feel a lot of the impact. I'm very impressed. The fit, I really had to squeeze my hands in here. They were a bit smaller than I'm used to, but man, I feel my knuckles a lot more in like more expensive leather gloves. So last thing on that is I don't know how long that cushion will last. I think with a glove this cheap, I'm fairly certain this will start to wear and you'll start to feel on your knuckles more, but for $18, pretty easy to replace. So not bad. For $18, I think if you really on a budget and you need to save some money and you're not real powerful yet and you're not really like heavily invested in your training yet, this is a good start. Some of the names of these gloves, man. Okay, so the next most affordable or cheapest glove on Amazon is gonna be, it's called XN8, the number 8, okay? And this glove is currently $26 on Amazon. So, got this white bag here, okay. But under the white bag, you've got a little carrying bag. Now these carrying bags are good, and when you first start out, some people like to keep them. I usually don't keep these bags. I just put my gloves in my gym bag. But it does come in a little bag, so that's cool. Looks like it's wrapped in the bag. Okay. And the glove is individually wrapped. Okay, so again, a vinyl glove. Doesn't feel super cheap, but doesn't feel like heavy duty quality. The inside is a different material than the Defy glove. What I didn't mention with the Defy glove and this glove is I have a decent sized hand. And I'm not having trouble getting my hand in, but with hand wraps on, this is gonna be a pretty snug fit. Okay, the wrist's secure. This feels much thicker than the Defy gloves, but padding's a bit soft. It's got some give to it. It's comfy. I mean, it fits on there nice and comfy. It's a good starter glove. Like if you really start cracking, I don't know how this will hold up, but for $25, this is decent. But it is $25. I feel like this is a $25 glove. Like this is not a high-end glove, but it, you know, for the price, it's going to do what you want it to do. As you get more serious with your training, I mean, when you start out, you know, you're still learning technique. These are probably good gloves for like cardio kickboxing, some light pad work once you're getting started. But as you get better, you really start to crack hard. I don't know how well these will hold up. So these are good starter gloves. Again, if you're on a budget, like a serious budget. For $25, this is it feels like a $25 glove, but it doesn't feel like a cheap $25 glove. I hope that makes sense. So let's get some training with this thing. So cheap, but they're so comfortable. They almost feel like toy gloves, you know, but my hand inside this glove, it feels so cushioned, so like protected, and the impact is good. Good cushion on the knuckles. I mean, the wrist could be a little tighter, but I guess I can just put a little more effort into tightening that when I put them on. But man, for being a cheaper glove, you know, I'm really impressed with how comfortable these are. Now, I don't know how long these will last as far as like the cushion. I'm sure it'll deteriorate over time given the price point, but you can always replace them. That's the thing about buying something that's cheap, especially when you're starting out. Just like the Defy gloves, I feel like when you're starting out, this could be a good fit, especially if you're maybe doing a cardio kickboxing, you're just a lot of bag work. Now, I don't hit pads harder than I hit a bag, so the bag's a good test. All around for the price, man, I'm very impressed at how comfortable my hand feels. And compared to the Sanabul, the thumb is not in an awkward position. I'm able to really close my fist and dig in and connect with the knuckles that I want to connect with. So for the price, man, this is worth the price. But again, it is gonna be a cheaper glove, so I don't know how long it's gonna last. But for starters, man, this is solid for the price. Okay, this next glove, if you've searched for gloves at all or you train anywhere at all, you've come across this, whether you do striking or even BJJ. Sanabul, and I don't know if I'm saying that right, but Sanabul has really come up as far as an affordable option when it comes to gis or striking gear or whatnot. So you see a lot of these gloves. I don't know if I see a lot of more experienced strikers using these, but beginners and like cardio kickboxing, Sanabul's really kind of filled that void. It's been on Amazon for a long time. These gloves come in at $30. I've seen a lot of my beginner students come in with these gloves. So the quality is already a step up from the other two cheap gloves. I mean, you've got this mesh breathing portion here. You've got this nice raised logo here. The padding feels stiffer. I mean, it already feels, I mean, just for $5 more than the last glove, it's so much better already. Okay, this is a bit of a tight fit. I can't even get my hand past the wrist part. So that's snug. Feels good. The padding feels way denser, much better than the XN8 gloves and the Defy gloves. So I'm already seeing a step up in the quality. The wrist portion, it's about the same. It doesn't feel super firm, super secure, but I guess you try to solve that problem with making sure that you wrap your hands very well. This part was very narrow, but this part seems to be a good size. My hand fits in here very well. Just had a hard time getting my hand through the wrist portion. So it's bigger around here. But let's train with them and see what we get. So these are the more, like I said earlier, more of a brand that you might be familiar with. Now, getting these on was really hard. The wrist is super narrow, so I had a hard time getting my hand in. So these might be better for women or people with smaller hands, no offense. But once I got my hand in, you can see how wide this is. I actually like the way my hands feel in the glove part. And with the wrist being so narrow, the wrist is actually more secure. So it all works together. Once I get them on, it is a bit wide in my thumb. Feels like it's being pulled further away from my hand, so I can't quite close my hand as much as I want. And that's gotta be even more uncomfortable for someone with a smaller hand, because I have a bigger hand and my hand feels like it's wide with my thumb being way out here as opposed to being able to close. So that's an odd feature. Contact feels okay. Cushion's good. This is one of the stiffer bags in my gym. So I mean, it has no give, and it's a little unforgiving. And if you're not hyper technical or using the right gloves, you can really hurt your wrist or your knuckles on this bag. And this seems to do just fine on it. So for $30, you know, this isn't bad at all. These aren't bad at all. But the shape, although I like that my hand is big in here, now that I'm talking about it, it does feel like it's over my hand. Maybe over time it'll close down a little bit, but not bad, not great. It's good for the price. So we have another off-brand that's a little more expensive than the Sanabul. So these are $31 or $32. Okay, so just a couple dollars more, but you got to ask yourself, you know, is it better than the name brand stuff that we get from Sanabul? Same quality. Now, already I can tell you right off the bat, I don't like the design of this glove. Look how wide this glove is. It's so fat and wide. It doesn't contour at all towards the wrist. Yeah, that's already kind of a clunky design. It feels solid. I mean, it feels really rigid compared to the other gloves so far. The padding on the inside seems nice. I'll tell you what, with this wide design, I have no problem getting my hand in it. Secure this pretty tight because, again, it's really wide. I guess it's because it was brand new. Once I wrapped it around, it seems to curve just fine. It feels nice. Having a bigger hand, this fits me nicely, and I could tell with hand wraps it's going to feel nice. It does have a mesh breathing portion here. This portion here seems to be curved, like firmer. All around, this glove just feels way more firm than the other three. The thumb is not very comfortable, but I haven't hit anything with it yet. Right off the bat, it's decent, but it's not like a huge leap above the Sanabul. I guess it's a little better just off initial feel. but it is only $2 more. So let's train with it and see if there's a huge difference. So, these are, like I said, these names are a little weird. ZZTY. So, initially putting these on, they feel really sturdy, but they're really stiff. I gotta be honest, maybe over time they'll loosen up a little bit, but they don't feel that comfortable in the knuckle area. It's like the curve here for a boxing glove is not very comfortable. So it's not super uncomfortable, and for an affordable glove, depending on how hard you're gonna be cracking the surface, I don't know if it's a problem. They're a bit wide here. It is a boxing glove. Closing my fist inside is not horrible. I don't know, compared to the other gloves so far, they're not the most comfortable with my hand inside. With hand wraps on, maybe I just have big hands. These are 16-ounce gloves, but you know, decent for the price. Not the best out of the bunch. Okay, last but certainly not least is Elite Sports. Now, Elite Sports is probably the biggest name brand next to maybe Sanabul. They have a lot of products on Amazon. They sell a lot of products as far as fitness products and primarily martial arts products, combat sports products. So I actually have quite a bit of their products. I have some Thai pads. I have their focus mitts. I have a couple of their gis. I really like their gis. Now, I would say Elite Sports is an affordable brand, not a cheap brand, but not a high-end brand. So the products they make, again, are affordable, but I wouldn't consider them high-end like Hayabusa or Fairtex or anything like that, but they're certainly not cheap. And right off the bat, these are only $30 and you get a bag, and it comes with hand wraps. So for $30, you get a pair of hand wraps, so that already puts them above the other gloves. But these hand wraps are tiny. I mean, if I was a woman with little hands, these would be helpful. But I think these are maybe 108s. But yeah, that'll barely fit around my hand. But it's still something that comes with it, so that's a cool gesture. Okay, so the glove itself, right off the bat, I already like it. It's like, it feels quality, it's thick, but it's not super rigid as well. Sometimes that really stiff glove does give like hint of, just feels cheap. So, the wrist is a little narrow to get my hand in, but it's worth it. I get my hand in. Once my hand's in, I got a lot of area up here to work with. It's a bit of a snug fit for me, but I can see it working for others. Now, this portion up here feels amazing. There is a little give in the wrist that I don't like too much, but it's just a matter of making sure that I wrap my hands properly so that there's not a lot of give when I punch, so I don't turn my knuckles and hurt my wrist. The wrist is pretty long. It is secure. Again, if you have the right hand wraps and you pull this pretty tight, this could be a snug glove. But this portion here I really like. The thumb feels great. My knuckles feel great in here. The padding is really thick and dense. It's not too cushiony and it's not too stiff. This glove already feels better than all the other gloves just trying it on. But now let's train with it and see what's up. Yeah. All right, guys, we found the winner. Now, I'm gonna show you some footage of me trying to get these things on. They are a bit tight in the wrist, so it's hard for me to slide them on. But once I got them on, it was gravy. And by that, I mean smooth. Now, if you look at the hand, there's a lot of cushion here. As far as knuckle protection, these are the best out of all the gloves that we've done in this video. And I felt I could hit so much harder. They're a little more aerodynamic as far as the design, so I was moving a bit faster. It's not a huge or significant difference, but it makes a difference. And these look more like traditional boxing gloves. From a boxing perspective, when it comes to all the affordable gloves I covered, hands down, these are the winner. I'm very impressed. You know, for $30, man, you know, you're gonna get a pair of decent gloves like this. Again, if you're on a budget, you can go get $80, $120 pair of gloves, but I'm very impressed with the quality of this glove, how long it will last. It is vinyl, it is cheaper. I don't know. I don't think it'll last long, but again, if you're starting on a budget, this is the winner right here. You can try the other gloves, definitely, you know, for sure, if you see a design you like better. But as far as everything I've covered in this video, these are the gloves that I would go with. So all around, man, this is gonna be the best deal out of all 5 gloves covered. So check the link in the bottom and get a pair if you're looking for an affordable pair of gloves from Amazon.